Let me tell y'all something. The Hollywood gossip machine has been working overtime, and right at the center is none other than Blake Lively. Now, I'm sure you remember when Miss Thing was considered a shining star, America's sweetheart with the perfect family, charmed career, and a squeaky clean brand. But honey, that sugary image has crumbled faster than a stale cookie. Folks out here are snatching wigs and taking receipts because Blake has found herself caught in a scandal so dramatic it might as well be a soap opera. Lawsuits? Yes, ma'am. Secret cover-ups? You bet. A meltdown over a cartoon cover? Oh, it's real. And it's got people howling from coast to coast. So, how in the world did Hollywood's darling end up with pitchforks pointed her way? Buckle up, because this story's got more twists than a daytime drama. And by the end, you'll be rethinking every smile and wave she's ever thrown at a camera. Let's start with how Blake Lively built up that golden girl facade. She strutted onto the scene like the ultimate girl next door. Gossip Girl put her on the map, and soon she had magazine covers, red carpet moments, and brand endorsements, all labeling her America's new sweetheart. She seemed so real, so down to earth, always talking about her love of cooking or poking fun at her relationship with husband Ryan Reynolds. But sweet peas, you know how Hollywood is. If something looks too perfect, there's usually a skeleton or two rattling in the back of that walk-in closet. The first crack started showing when rumors leaked that Blake had a habit of rewriting scripts and overshadowing her co-stars on set. People whispered that she'd barge into the editing room uninvited, all while maintaining that megawatt smile for the cameras. Some folks brushed it off as ambition. After all, strong women in Hollywood do have to fight for control, right? But as we'll see, there's a big difference between a woman who fights for fair treatment and a star who thinks every production is her personal kingdom. And oh honey, we've only just begun. But that was just the calm before the storm. So how did this fairy tale start unraveling for real? With a good old-fashioned lawsuit, of course. Girl, you know Hollywood can't have a scandal without legal drama. One day, the news drops that Justin Baldoni, famed actor, director, and your standard Hollywood good guy, is locked in a major courtroom showdown with Ms. Lively. She tried to cast herself as a victim, dropping allegations that hinted at some shady, borderline illegal behavior on set. But hold up, Baldoni hit right back with receipts of his own. Almost overnight, it became, as he said, fiasco, but the receipts didn't lie. People who worked on the project started talking under anonymity, claiming that Blake was calling the shots the entire time, basically hijacking the movie from its rightful director. The internet didn't know who to believe at first. Some argued that we should always stand by a woman claiming wrongdoing. But once the rest of the evidence started rolling in, that sympathy turned into suspicion. The story was morphing into something much bigger, and folks began questioning whether Blake was truly the hero she claimed to be. And that was only the beginning. Now, sugar, if you think the lawsuit itself was scandalous, wait till you hear about the PR meltdown. Most celebrities in crisis hire a big-name publicist, or maybe a polished Hollywood agent to spin their story. But not Blake. She went and hired a former CIA agent, Nick Shapiro, who specialized in crisis management. Let's just say, it's not every day you hear about an actor calling up the CIA for help, like she was plotting some covert ops mission. Once that detail leaked, the entire world side-eyed Blake so hard they might have pulled a muscle. The move didn't make her look strong or smart. It made her look sneaky. Suddenly, fans couldn't help but wonder, what exactly needed that kind of hush-hush cleanup? Rumors spread that she was trying to bury evidence, intimidate potential witnesses, or twist the narrative in her favor. All that hush money and top-tier cleanup only shined a bigger spotlight on her secrets. Media outlets started calling it one of the most desperate PR attempts in recent memory. Instead of salvaging her public image, Blake's big power play turned into the ultimate fail. And the fallout didn't stop there. When the dust first settled, you'd think her loyal fanbase would defend her, right? Well, guess again. Hun. Social media erupted with hashtags calling Blake everything from a control freak to an absolute fraud. People started combing through old interviews, finding moments where she joked about faking it till she made it on set. Those clips suddenly felt a whole lot less cute once these allegations surfaced. Let's talk numbers. We're talking huge drops in follower counts. Yes, Ms. Lively watched her precious Instagram feed lose tens of thousands of fans practically overnight. Fans who had worshipped her style, her sense of humor, her relationship goals with Ryan, gone just like that. Even poor Ryan Reynolds got dragged into the mess, losing followers himself and becoming the target of fans who felt he was co-signing her bad behavior. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni was getting a hero's welcome on social media. People who barely knew his name a month prior were flocking to his pages to show support, calling him the real victim. The internet tide had turned, and it was not in Ms. Lively's favor. But the biggest betrayal came from her own backyard. Now let's talk about Hollywood, that cutthroat town where loyalty is worth less than a cheap purse on clearance. In Tinseltown, folks flock toward whoever can bring in the money. The minute you start looking like box office poison, it's deuces, baby. And that's precisely what happened to Blake. A-listers, producers, and directors started distancing themselves, claiming they didn't want any association with this swirling drama. Some insiders revealed that they found Blake nearly impossible to work with on her recent project, It Ends With Us. She apparently hijacked the script and stepped all over the director's toes, only she wasn't the official director. She was supposed to be a star and executive producer, but ended up calling all the shots anyway. If you think that kind of controlling approach doesn't rub people the wrong way, then child, let me tell you it does. Producers basically blacklisted her behind closed doors, letting it be known that signing Blake Lively means signing up for chaos. Hollywood might forgive a scandalous romance or a run-in with the law, but a meltdown that cost studios millions of dollars? That's a different story. Even her famous friendships weren't spared. Every time you see Blake Lively's name, you're bound to see Taylor Swift floating around somewhere, too. They had that adorable friendship, with Blake showing up to Taylor's concerts and Taylor sending custom gifts for Blake's kids. You'd think if anyone would stand up for her, it'd be Ms. Swift. But notice how quiet Taylor's been. Radio silence. Not a single statement or supportive post. Absolutely nothing. In Hollywood, no reaction is a reaction. When your bestie goes mute during your hour of need, that pretty much tells the world that you're on your own. And for Blake, that's a devastating blow. Taylor's known for fiercely defending her friends. She'll write a diss track at the drop of a hat if someone crosses her circle. The fact that she's not raising a finger to help Blake suggests maybe even the pop superstar has doubts about what's really going on. If your big-name friends won't publicly stand by you, that speaks volumes. And it's not just Taylor. Whispers say other celeb pals who used to post fun hangout pics with Blake have now quietly unfollowed or just stopped mentioning her at all. This stings, because as soon as your social circle starts freezing you out, you might as well be wearing a neon sign that says persona non grata. Because the worst was yet to come. If you thought it couldn't get any wilder, oh honey, wait until you hear about the cartoon cover that pushed Blake over the edge. The Hollywood Reporter dropped this illustration that showed a figure meant to represent Blake launching a slingshot at Justin Baldoni. It was simple, dramatic, and downright iconic. That was the moment everything blew wide open. Blake erupted in outrage, calling the cover sexist and an attack on women. But guess what, sugar? The public wasn't buying it. Folks pointed out that Blake was the one slinging accusations left and right without ironclad proof. They said the cartoon merely reflected reality. She'd been gunning for Baldoni from the start. Instead of crying foul, maybe she should have checked her own receipts. Social media took one look at her meltdown and went, sis, you're really out here flipping tables over a drawing? In the blink of an eye, that meltdown turned her from questionable to downright toxic. People dragged her on social media for using the feminist label as a shield every time she got a little pushback. Headlines read more like comedic takedowns than serious news. If the goal was to make her look sympathetic, it backfired. And from that moment, the narrative around her flipped for good. This was the tipping point that Hollywood could no longer ignore. So there you have it, darling. Blake Lively, once the poster child for Hollywood sunshine, now at the center of an epic downfall. From the lawsuit that exposed her alleged manipulations to the CIA-level PR moves that only made her look more guilty, Blake's empire has crumbled piece by piece. Fans are jumping ship. Hollywood power players are leaving her in the dust. Her famous friends won't even say her name. And that meltdown over a simple cartoon cover was the final nail in the coffin. Because once folks saw her flipping out over a joke, they realized just how deep her control complex runs. At this point, the big question is, can she stage a comeback? Hollywood loves a redemption story, but they usually require real remorse and accountability. So far, Ms. Lively's been playing victim while juggling more excuses than a cheating ex. And if Hollywood insiders are to be believed, her downfall has only just begun. Maybe she'll spin a brand new tale to trick the public once more. Or maybe we'll witness a star who soared too high crash and burn under her own self-inflicted scandal. Only time will tell. Thanks for supporting the Gossip Wire. If you made it this far in the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more of the hottest celebrity news online.